It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you so much for being with us on this snowy day in greater West Bloomfield. Several inches falling overnight throughout southeastern Michigan, definitely affecting your commute throughout the town today across West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities. We have even more information on what you may need to keep in mind as you get out in your vehicle today to go to work, to maybe drop your kids off at activities or go run your errands across our community. Our very own Jake Schaff is live with us out in the field with some very helpful advice alongside one of our major local roads. Jake.
Yes, Tyler, good morning. I'm standing here live right by Walnut Lake Road, where, as you can see, it is a winter wonderland out here. A very heavy snowfall came our way overnight. You can see cars making their way down the road, trying to clear the snow off. It's looking a lot better than it was this morning, but with all the snow that's been falling down and impacting the roads, it's important to make sure that if you are heading out on the roads, which a lot of people are this morning, that your car is properly managed and kept up to date. Yesterday, I stopped by our local Midas shop to speak with their store owner and manager, Alex Ho, who offered some important tips on how to keep your vehicle safe and in line.
You know, some common things that we see go wrong during the winter is people start to use their wiper blades to remove snow. You really don't want to do that. The wiper motor is not strong enough to support that. You really want to dust off your vehicle with an actual scraper. You want to make sure your vehicle typically has about at least half a tank of gas, just because in extreme weather, the fuel lines can freeze over, and that would be a very expensive repair. Some other things are, try to have like an emergency kit in your car just in case you do get stranded. But those are really the main points.
A lot of important tactics that I'm sure we've adapted into our winter morning routines. But Alex did mention one tactic that, although might be necessary from a personal standpoint, isn't quite as important as you think it is.
It's not necessary from a technical and vehicle maintenance standpoint to warm up your car anymore. Engines nowadays are direct fuel injection motors, and so the motor gets the gasoline super fast versus carburetors, those sort of back in the day. So you really don't need to quote-unquote warm up your engine anymore. The only reason why you really warm up the car is for your own purposes, get the heated seats going, that sort of thing. But really just, starting the car up a couple minutes is all the engine and transmission really need.
Of course, one of the most important things to keep an eye on with your car are the tires. And Alex went on to offer some guidance on how to make sure your tires are capable of handling icy roads.
Well, you want to make sure your tires are aired up. That's number one. Even if your tires are brand spanking new, if you don't have enough air in them, they're gonna wear out prematurely. So you want to make sure your tires are aired up, and then you want to make sure that you have enough tread on the tires. Tires are measured in 30 seconds of an inch. So we have a tool that can measure the depth on tires, and typically you want your tires to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 seconds of an inch. Most auto repair shops, we definitely can check that out, and we can also top off your air at no charge.
It's all important information to have on the front of your mind as a winter storm rolls through. And this Saturday, we're going to be experiencing yet another massive storm very similar to this one. So Alex offered a little bit more advice on what to look for with your car now that there's a bit more time to prepare before the next storm.
So ahead of the winter storm, there's a few things that you'll want to do. You obviously want to make sure your battery has been tested so that it can start the car, because extreme temperatures will kill your battery. Mm-hmm. Batteries typically last 4 to 5 years, but with the extreme weather, I've seen them last maybe even 2 or 3 depending. So you want to make sure you check that. You also want to make sure your tires are checked, make sure that you have enough tread on them. Tires typically last about 4 years as well. Most tires last about 40 to 50,000 miles. So depending on where you are in that, maybe it's time to go get them checked out, possibly replaced or rotated.
All important things to keep in mind as you maintain your cars and stay safe along these winter roads. I've been Jake Schaff, live outside of Walnut Lake Road. Back to you, Tyler.
Appreciate the report, Jake. Definitely a bit of treachery out on the roads today all across the greater West Bloomfield area. Our team at Civic Center TV coming from all different directions into the greater West Bloomfield area. I can tell you from coming in from the western side of Oakland County this morning, as the snow was pretty variable in terms of total snowfall throughout the general area. Some of the main roads really nice and clear, had a good 2-track, had an open lane that had a lot of pavement visible, but in other cases, some entire lanes were covered in snow, as maybe one lane in either direction had been cleared, and that's going to be a bit of the same as we go throughout Metro Detroit today, and especially here in Oakland County. Craig Bryson, the Senior Communications Manager from the Road Commission for Oakland County, joined Jake Schaff here on The Splash recently to talk about kind of what goes into clearing these roads during and in the aftermath of some of these larger snowfall events. Roadways are going to be cleared all throughout the process, but there is a priority system in place to ensure that the most drivers on the most heavily trafficked roads are going to be addressed in the first place.
Our priority system is the roads with the most traffic moving at the highest speeds. So first in that list is the freeways, I-75, 696, M59, 275, et cetera. And those are the highest priority. Then we move to the major surface streets, which include roads like Orchard Lake Road, 12 Mile Road, outside of your area, Southfield Road, Big Beaver Road, many of the major mile roads. Those are the highest priorities. Working down from there, at the bottom of that list, unfortunately, is the subdivision roads, carrying the least amount of traffic, moving at the lowest speeds. And we want to ask people to please be patient. We will get into the subdivisions, but it'll probably be at least a couple of days till we get things cleaned up. And depending on how much more snow we get on Saturday, it could be after that before we start to really get into the subdivisions if we get as much snow as they're projecting.
That's Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County, their Senior Communications Manager. Clearing the snow and the ice is no easy task for their massive team that is working all around the clock, as well as those in our cities, such as Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, Sylvan Lake, each of which have their own Department of Public Works that are overseeing those city streets. You think of in Keego Harbor, Beachmont, Schroeder, streets like that. In Sylvan Lake, Garland, and Orchard Lake, it's some of those subdivision streets that cross through, or those immediate after roads alongside Old Orchard Trail and Pontiac Trail and areas like that. That's covered by the city. So clearing that's no easy task, and it's especially the case, as Craig Bryson told our Jake Schaff, expecting that second storm to come over the weekend.
Well, it's not only the volume of the snow, it's the consistency of the snow, it's also the duration. We've got this storm, then we'll have about a day break, and then we've got more snow coming on Saturday. So we've got multiple days worth of work here, and it'll take us at least a couple days to clean up at least the initial snowfall. So lots of concerns with this one.
Yeah, definitely a lot of concerns with this one because of the amount of snowfall being so variant throughout much of the Metro Detroit area. Some areas of southeast Michigan seeing upwards of 4 inches of snow overnight, and here in the greater West Bloomfield area, the Detroit Free Press reporting as of Thursday morning snowfall from that storm, about 1.5 inches in West Bloomfield Township proper. Major roadways will be clearer in some areas, as I mentioned earlier on, than in others. Major road thoroughfares like Orchard Lake, probably going to be a higher priority than some of the medium trafficked roads like Walnut Lake right outside of our studios, and those conditions may be different later on. So here's a little bit of advice from Craig Bryson and the Road Commission for Oakland County on safely navigating these roads throughout this entire process.
First and foremost, give yourself extra time. Plan to go slower than usual. If it's snowing as hard as they say, the morning rush hour could be messy. And once rush hour starts, our trucks can't get through the traffic any faster than anybody else. And so we often see this 2-hour block or so where the roads, even if they've been cleaned before that, become snow covered again because we can't get through the rush hour traffic. Rest assured, we are out and we're doing everything we can. And as soon as the rush hour traffic clears, we'll be able to make good progress again. But again, it could be very slow going during the rush hour period.
More information and updates on road clearings or other hazards that may pop up as a result of this storm can be found from the Road Commission for Oakland County. Their website, rcocweb.org. You can also follow them on Facebook at RoadCom. That's RoadComm for even more information and updates as you go through this process of the storm and the next one that's coming into the early portions of the weekend, both going to have a continued impact on our local roadways. Close to home, you have a chance for some upcoming leadership opportunities, but time is running out if you want to join the leadership team at Oakland Community College. They are seeking a new Board of Trustees member to replace one that has retired from their position, and you have one more chance to put your name in the ring and maybe take a leadership position in local education. Joining us from Oakland Community College is their Executive Director of Government and Community Relations, Eunice Jeffries, on the Splash Live. Eunice, thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having us today.
Yeah, happy to have you on to talk about this unique opportunity for people in Greater West Bloomfield to at least put their hat in the ring to take on a leadership position and join your Board of Trustees. Give them a little bit of an overview. What is being sought after by Oakland Community College and one of their board members?
Yeah, so we appreciate you even giving us an opportunity to talk about it. And you are correct. It is a unique opportunity. Normally, our Board of Trustees we elect them on even years. We always elect two. And so it just so happens that one of our trustees has decided to retire, and that creates an opening on our board. And so how we feel that the policy at the college dictates that people must apply for that opportunity. And you are correct. Time is running out. The deadline is today at 5 p.m. and someone can apply on our website, fill out the application on our website. So it is a unique opportunity to be part of the governing body of Oakland Community College.
More information on that, including the application, oaklandcc.edu. Again, oaklandcc.edu. You have until 5 p.m. on this Thursday, February 13th, to apply for that position. And there are some requirements that do go into this unit. So what should people be aware of if they are interested, but maybe they don't actually qualify for this? They should know before they apply.
Yeah, you're right about that. So candidates must be at least 18 years of age at the time of application. You must be a resident of Oakland County, and that is defined by a place where a person habitually sleeps, keeps his or her personal effects, and have a regular place of lodging. And then the last one is must not have been convicted of a felony involving dishonesty, deceit, fraud, or breach of the public trust within the prior 20 years.
So just a few requirements that go into it. Otherwise, it's pretty much open to anybody in our community that's looking to take on a new leadership role and help out our local education system. Eunice Jeffries is with us. They're Executive Director of Government and Community Relations over at Oakland Community College, where they're currently looking for a new Board of Trustees member to join that 7-person board that oversees a lot of the operations at Oakland Community College's campuses here across our local area. So then they apply for the job. Maybe they ultimately are going to be appointed to that position. What does the gig ultimately entail?
Well, it's the governance structure of our college. So it entails reviewing policy, representing OCC. We call it OCC, or Oakland Community College, in the community, attending board meetings regularly, and being a voice at the table, advocating for our students, our faculty, and employees.
And it's an interesting time, too, for people to get into maybe being on a board at our local community college, because we're seeing community colleges kind of going through a renaissance right now where people are embracing the community college lifestyle for higher education, at least at the very beginning, but at the very best, they're starting their careers there. They're going into skilled trades there. It's really a great time to be a leader in that space and help people in our community advance their careers and advance their education.
Tyler, I couldn't have said it better myself. You're absolutely right about that. We represent the full spectrum from academic education, workforce development, lifelong learners, continuing education. There's a whole lot that we have to offer, and to be a part of the community college ecosystem is definitely a privilege.
And so why is now such an important time for people to maybe take the plunge into a leadership position like this, knowing that community colleges are becoming a majorly important way for people to get higher education and get into the workforce or back into the workforce? How much more of an impact can people have if they were to apply and become a trustee at this time in our history?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's no better time than the present, right? There's an opening, and this is a unique opportunity. Normally, what individuals would have to do is they would have to run for office. They would have to run a county-wide race, filling out the forms and all that with county government. This is different. This is an interview process. This is an opportunity for someone to raise their hand and say, you know what, I've always thought about it. I have some talents to give. And they go through an interview process versus running for elective office for an extended amount of time. The window is very short here.
And there's a great opportunity at Oakland Community College for people all across our local area. And it's a great opportunity, too, I would imagine, for people to bring some of their ideas to the table that could even further expand the reach of our community college. We know that at the Orchard Ridge campus and in Auburn Hills especially also, there's a wide variety of different academic programs and skilled trades programs. So where is Oakland Community College going in the future, especially as we get greater access to technology at the community college level? And that also becomes a really critical portion of how community college education is operated.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. So first of all, this year, Oakland Community College is celebrating our 60th anniversary. And so one of our focuses is future-proofing the college. And what that means is exploring innovative ways to deliver a quality education for an affordable price in as many modalities as possible, right? So 60 years ago, of course, there was online class and those choices were unheard of. And so right now where we're going, the direction that the college is going is to deliver this quality, affordable, accessible education and meet students where they are. And so we see some trends there. We see some preferences for online learning. We see some preferences for certain careers as directed by industry. We see explosive growth in the skilled trades. And so the direction that the college is going is the direction that the county is going, and that's forward.
Eunice Jeffries is with us from Oakland Community College. They are seeking a new Board of Trustees member to complete their 7-person board. Applications are open, but they close today at 5 o'clock. All you got to do is go to their website at oaklandcc.edu. oaklandcc.edu. There's a link right at the very top of that page that will take you through the application process, get you to the page so you can put in your application and hopefully hear back from them, maybe join one of our local leadership boards right here in Oakland County. Eunice, if people do apply today by that deadline, they get their name in the ring, maybe they are chosen as some of the final candidates for that potential position. When do you expect that they would be hearing back, and what's next in the process after their application?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So after the application deadline, there will be a review, and it will be preferable to come down to the 3 top qualified candidates, not necessarily, the first round of review, but then there will be some interview with our Board of Trustees. They'll call a meeting date and have the interview with the candidates, and then our trustees will vote at a public meeting on the candidate that is selected.
More information throughout the process and to follow along whether you apply or not is at oaklandcc.edu. You can also follow Oakland Community College on Facebook at OCC Official and on Instagram at OC College. Eunice, before we let you go, anything else that we should know? Any other interesting things going on people should keep their eye on over at Oakland Community College?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. Like I said, we are celebrating our 60th anniversary this year, so we will have several events in the community where members can join and celebrate with us, and we would love to have you. We're just really excited. Enrollment is up. We're in our winter term right now, and we're so proud of our students, and we invite those that are thinking about furthering their education to please give Oakland Community College consideration. We'll take very good care of you. Thank you for the opportunity, Tyler. We appreciate you.
Yeah, glad to have you on to tell us even more. Eunice Jeffries from Oakland Community College. Appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you.
OCC Official on Facebook, OC College on Instagram, and to apply for that Board of Trustees position by their 5 p.m. deadline today, oaklandcc.edu. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty more to get to on the other side. Our love for our local library and some special events coming up where you can meet some local authors that maybe are even familiar faces close to home. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
What people are watching in Kego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for taking the journey along with me throughout Kego Harbor, West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake each and every day, and for always following along on CivicCenterTV.com. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. There's plenty more inspiring stories to be told all throughout our community by our business owners and those making an impact and an influence every single day at the 2025 Greater West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force's 2025 Black Expo, Saturday, February 22nd at the Orchard Mall from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Businesses of all different kinds and even some entertainment, including authors like Reverend Jabulani McAllister, who will be debuting his book, Hope Beyond Hope, and signing copies at the Orchard Mall during that big event as well. He joins me now to tell us more on the Splash Live. Reverend McAllister, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on to talk about Hope Beyond Hope. It's an interesting tale that you're telling in here as you bring hope to bring people closer to their faith in our community, whether they practice Christianity or not. And it's an interesting way that you go about this. So give us a little bit of background information on what goes into Hope Beyond Hope.
So I recognized that it was so many people that were going through a lot of different things. And as you pointed out, whether they were a part of my faith tradition as a Christian or not, I wanted them to find a way to get closer in their faith walk on their own. Because I did not grow up in church. A lot of people assume that because I've been a pastor for so long and because I've followed Christ for so long, but I didn't. And so as you alluded to, I give some introductory remarks in the book about my faith journey and how I was impacted by that. And so I try to remember that when I'm approaching others who want to draw closer to God and try to figure out how to make it through this day-to-day thing. You know, it's not always super spiritual, but a spiritual base and foundation helps you make it through everyday challenges.
And so you wrote in your overview passage about this book, you said, quote, "I pray that as you journey with me these 21 days, that my stories and testimonies coupled with the scriptures and prayers will deepen your faith in a way that it will never be permanently shaken again." So are you taking people on a sort of day-by-day journey as they go through this book? Is that kind of what I'm getting out of this correctly?
Yes, it's a 21-day devotional. People always ask, Pastor, why 21 days? Well, people have short attention span these days, and it takes 3 weeks, 21 days, to develop a new habit. And so day by day, it's a different devotional that leads them on a journey from the spirit to hope, and hopefully helping them with some different prayer prompts at the end of the devotionals to help them find their own way back to hope, no matter what happens in their life.
Pastor Jabulani McAllister is with us, the senior pastor at Covenant Baptist Church in West Bloomfield. He just released his new book, Hope Beyond Hope. You can pick up a copy, get him signed, and talk to him about his 21-day devotional at the 2025 Black Expo. More information on that event through the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force can be found on wbparks.org. And Pastor, this is a really interesting way to bring this together. As you said, you're sort of trying to help people form habits as it relates to their faith, but even beyond that, whether they are a devout Christian or they've sort of lost track of their Christian faith, or if they don't even practice Christianity, people can get a lot out of these stories through that 21 days that goes beyond what they would get in the church or get from even just practicing their faith in a traditional sense.
For sure, because many people, these days, they've lost their faith and well, not their faith, but they've lost interest in going to a physical building, for example. And so we try to find creative ways to help people connect, whether they come inside the church building or not, because we found that in my faith tradition, when I look at it in the scriptures, Jesus always went to where people were and met them where they were in a non-judgmental way and helped them and walked alongside them. And so that's what my attempt is in sharing with them this material to kind of help them plug into that and not trying to force them to believe what I believe, but help them to be sure about what they believe and stand firm on that so they're not shaken and when life happens.
So there's a number of different reasons to write a book, especially a devotional book for someone that is in our faith community. So why this book and why right now?
Well, I think this book, again, as the title says, is Hope Beyond Hope. So sometimes people can start off very hopeful, very inspired, and then some trauma or something will happen in their life, and they'll just give up. And so I thought that this was important to understand that you can still hold on to it. So when you get to your last hopeful moment, you can go beyond that as you walk daily with your relationship with God. And especially in times like these, people are so divided on different things. And I want people to know that you can disagree without being disagreeable. You can still hold on to what you believe in, but you can still respect other people's faith as well, their journeys as well, and come alongside each other to inspire each other to hold on to not only their faith, but their hope, and that they can make it through any challenge. Because once you have that foundation, it doesn't matter what happens. You can understand how important it is to never give up.
Jablani McAllister is with us, senior pastor at Covenant Baptist Church. His new book, Hope Beyond Hope, will be available for you to pick up and get a signed copy at the 2025 Black Expo. That is coming up at the Orchard Mall Saturday, February 22nd, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. More information on that can be found at wbparks.org/diversity. And Jablani, as we continue to talk about what people may get out of this book, what you hope people do ultimately take from this book, how does it connect to sort of the work, or the purpose of the work, better yet, that you do each and every day, each and every week as one of our faith leaders here in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, it connects because, as I said, people will not necessarily come on a Sunday morning to worship or a Bible study, things like that. But this may inspire them to do that. And one of the things that's important, I think, is community. And we all need it, whether we admit it or not. We all want it. And I think that it connects to that work because, like, when we reach people with our emergency food pantry, we reach them with the Bible study that we have. So it's practical things linked with faith. Because I believe that once you finish praying, then it's time to roll up your sleeves and get to work.
And so how do you believe that after these 21 days of stories, after they get through your book, that people will be able to, whether they're utilizing these newfound skills, this newfound hope through their faith or just through new day-to-day habits, how do you hope that they spread this message maybe even beyond what they've learned and maybe help other people here in Greater West Bloomfield as well?
Well, my hope is that it will restore their faith, number one, and because they will have a new practice, daily practice of prayer, because I give instructions on how to use it or an example of how to use it, then they'll be able to plug into daily conversation. You don't have to pray like anybody else. Prayer is just a dialogue. You speaking to God and you listening. And I think the most important part, as I tell my congregation, is the listening part, because sometimes we will rush off. You'll see a quick little prayer and just rush off, but hopefully this will give them a desire and hunger to be able to use these tools every single day beyond just this 21-day journey. As I said, forming a new habit of best practices in their faith, in their life, and then they'll be able to inspire others by their own testimony and their own story of how to do that.
Jablani McAllister is with us. He is the author of Hope Beyond Hope, and day by day, week by week, you'll see him as the senior pastor at Covenant Baptist Church right here in Greater West Bloomfield. You'll also be able to see him and get a signed copy of Hope Beyond Hope at the 2025 Black Expo, February 22nd, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Orchard Mall. More information on that can be found on wbparks.org/diversity. Pastor, before we let you go, there's so many messages that will be taken from this book that people will be able to learn by reading it and by talking to you and others in our community about these lessons. Overall, what is your number one message as you release this book and you have hope that people will take away something new that will ultimately lift them up in their day-to-day life?
Ultimately, I want them to know that even if the whole world has forgotten about you, God has not forgotten about you. God sees you. God wants you to prosper. And that doesn't mean materially, but just in your holistic self, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That's the whole point of releasing a work like this, to get people connected to their faith portion. Because a lot of times we operate physically, but we forget about being a whole person, mentally, spiritually.
The book is Hope Beyond Hope. It's available as we speak on Google Play Books, on Amazon, and will be available in person, where you can also get a signed copy at the 2025 Black Expo on Saturday, February 22nd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pastor Jablani McAllister, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You as well, and appreciate you coming on the show to tell us more about your book. And you can get a copy of Hope Beyond Hope, a signed copy at that, from the from the Covenant Baptist Church pastor and local Reverend Jablani McAllister at the 2025 West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force Black Expo, Saturday, February 22nd, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Orchard Mall. More information can be found on wbparks.org/diversity. February is National Love Your Library Month, and the love for our local library system begins ultimately with the residents, but even before the residents get their beloved programs and other activities at the library, there's a special love going on in the background from those that operate the show each and every day. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh has the story.
I'm here at the West Acres branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, where February is all about appreciation. Love Your Library Month is a time to recognize the impact libraries have on the community. And today, we're asking what makes this place so special.
Here at the West Acres branch, something really popular actually. Today was Wednesday morning, so we had our story time. So that's one of our most popular programs is our moving group story time for ages birth to 5. As far as resources go, I would say our ebooks are really, really popular. We've got ebooks through Cloud Library, Libby, and Hoopla, and people love their ebooks. Personally, I love e-audiobooks, so it's also a personal favorite of mine.
Libraries have come a long way, adapting to new technology and changing community needs. Rachel Hurst, West Acres librarian, explains how the library continues to evolve.
So libraries are no longer a place where people just come to read their books in silence. We've got a lot of different materials now. In addition to books, we also have video games. We've got experience kits where people can check out to learn to play pickleball, learn to knit. We've also got literacy kits for kids, which are backpacks that have different books and games tied around a theme. So for example, we've got Learn Spanish literacy kit with Spanish books and games and stuff. We also, like I said earlier, with our e-media, so it's not just a physical place people can come to, we've also got online resources that people can use.
For those who work at the library, it's more than just a job. It's a passion. Rachel shares what she loves most about being part of the library team.
Well, I actually grew up in West Bloomfield, so I grew up going to the library, so I love working here. I love the community. I also get to run programs, which is really fun because it's you can take your own personal passion. I love Pokemon, so in the summer I do a big Pokemon program, and it's I love this, and I can share what I love with everyone else.
From books and research to technology and community programs, the West Acres branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library continues to serve as a valuable resource for residents. Love Your Library Month is just a reminder of how much libraries bring to our communities, and here in West Bloomfield, that love is clear. From the West Acres branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Seems like the perfect day to head out to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, their main branch or the West Acres branch, and read a good book in a relaxing environment. Many fantastic spaces throughout both of those branches. And while you're there, make sure to tell the staff and the leadership at the library why you love your local library so much. The perfect month for that during the month of February. February is also 211 month, where we provide more access and information to critical resources for people that's available all throughout our local area, including all throughout southeastern Michigan with the United Way for Southeast Michigan. It's all through their 211 hotline, and the United Way's local 211 director Tasha Ball joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us even more. Tasha, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning, and thank you for having me today.
Happy to have you on as we celebrate 211 month. I'm doing fantastic, and hopefully you are doing great as well. So for those that are unfamiliar with this 211 resource, what does it do to help people throughout southeastern Michigan with a variety of different issues?
So 211 is a free and confidential helpline. So we give information and referrals to those in the community throughout U.S. and Canada. It's just not in Southeast. It's all throughout the U.S. and Canada. So we connect people to services for health and human services needs such as food, housing, utility assistance, and more. So it's just a 3-digit dialing code. We know that some people can't dial that 3-digit dialing code, so we do have a 10-digit dialing code number, which is 800-552-1183. But most carriers allow you to dial 211. So whenever you need information and referral, a lot of people don't know where to go, and calling 211 is the one-stop shop. We'll talk to you in a compassionate way. We'll get to have a conversation, get to know what you actually need. Because we find a lot of times people call 211, they may not know what they actually need. And once we have that conversation, building that rapport, we set them in the right direction. We give them referrals to agencies that may be able to assist.
And Tasha, with the conditions we're under right now in our current state of our society, whether it's the economic turmoil that we've seen over the last several years in a variety of different manners, and then even just the winter conditions we've had over the past couple of months with the snow and the ice and the extreme cold, has the United Way for Southeast Michigan seen an increased need for these resources?
Yes. So normally we average about 600 to 700 calls a day, and we have seen that over the last few months, our call volume increased to up to 800 calls a day or more. So we have seen a 15% increase in people looking for utility assistance. We've seen increase in food with the assistance. We know that the cost of food right now is extremely high. So we've noticed the increase in food, housing, and utility assistance. So people just call 211. We'll connect you to a pantry or some that may be able to help you, or some utility assistance that may be able to assist. With the extreme cold, we had an increase of calls for warming centers. So you want to make sure that you are calling to get to those warming centers in this extreme weather. We wouldn't want you out in the cold.
So how does collaboration play into this? I would imagine to get people in contact with resources is one thing, but to make sure those resources are close to their local area, whether it's here in our greater West Bloomfield communities or anywhere throughout Southeast Michigan, how does that hyper-localized collaboration play into what 211 services provide?
So when you dial 211, it's gonna be zip code routed. So we're gonna send you to those closest to you, mainly within the 1 to 5 mile radius. We want to make sure that when you're calling, we want to send you close to your local area. Say, for instance, if like West Bloomfield, you're gonna put that zip code in, and we're gonna find agencies that's close to your zip code. And then, like for food, if you're hungry today, we're gonna try to find you a soup kitchen that's close to your area. Or we're going to find you a pantry that's able to get you food within the next day or so.
Ride United has also been a really helpful service in recent times as well, helping thousands access essential services. And so how has that initiative even further benefited those that are in need of 211 services? And how do you see expansion of that throughout Southeast Michigan continuing going forward?
So Ride United is a localized program for Southeast Michigan. It's only in a tri-county area. That's for people that's working with our partner agencies currently. But for right now, like some that is extreme need, we may be able to refer them over. But Ride United currently is working with some of the partner agencies to help those that are working with them.
Tasha Ball is with us. She is the 211 Director for the United Way of Southeast Michigan, joining us on the program today. You can find more information either by calling that simple number 211 or visiting unitedway.org and learning more about their 211 resource in Southeast Michigan, and as Tasha mentioned earlier on, all throughout the U.S. and Canada, where they provide these critical resources to a number of people in need throughout greater West Bloomfield and beyond. And so people, now they know a little bit more about the what is provided by the United Way for Southeast Michigan. They want to know a little bit about the how, too. When they call 211, they're speaking to somebody on the phone. Who are they speaking to, and how do they know that that person can understand and comprehend exactly what situation they're in and exactly what their needs may be to get out of that?
So when you call 211, you're going to get a live agent. We're not once you get past that IVR, we're going to talk to you. We're going to build that report. We're going to have a conversation with you. We do ask some demographic questions. Again, we're going to ask that zip code, so we make sure that we send you to what's closest to you. We're going to have a conversation, talk to you, ask you what's going on. Tell us what's going on with your situation. How has things changed? What have you done before to help with that situation? We are going to actually talk to you and have a conversation. And we're going to do it in a non-judgmental way because everyone needs help at one point in time in their life. So we're going to talk to you with that empathy. We're going to talk to you to let you know someone cares. We're going to give you that care, that help, and that hope to make sure that we are getting you what you need, if at all possible.
More information can be found either calling 211 or visiting unitedway.org. Tasha Ball is with us from the United Way for Southeast Michigan, talking about the 211 hotline as we celebrate February being 211 month in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond in Southeast Michigan. Tasha, there are so many services that are really, really important that are being provided to people every single day. And when you think about calling a resource like 211, a lot of those critical issues are housing, utilities, food assistance, as you mentioned early on. But what are some of the services that people may be able to get some help with through 211 that they may not traditionally think are available through the service?
So things like people call for legal advice. So we may have things for legal aid in our database. People call for, they don't know where to contact, who to contact in the city. We have that information available. They may contact us regarding its legal aid, anything health and human service related, municipal things, like the library, for instance, was on there. We may direct them to the library services. So just about anything that's health and human service related, we will be able to, may be able to assist them with.
Tasha Ball is with us from the United Way for Southeast Michigan as we recognize 211 month across our local area here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. So many different resources that they can help you out with. If you are in need of some food assistance, housing assistance, utilities assistance, or many other issues that may be affecting you at this time or going forward, simply dial 211, or you can also visit unitedwaysem.org for even more information on the United Way for Southeast Michigan. Tasha, before we let you go, anything else that people should know about this resource at this time or keep in mind as we continue through February and beyond?
As you stated, February is 211 Awareness Month, and just let everyone know, anybody can call 211. So we may be able to have a resource for you, and you're going to get that warm, friendly person on the end of that line when you call.
211 is the phone number. UnitedWaySEM.org is the website. Tasha, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Glad to have you on as we recognize 211 month, and hopefully more people will be aware now of the immense resources that are provided by 211 to people with a variety of different needs all across Greater West Bloomfield, throughout Oakland County, and across Southeast Michigan. What a fantastic resource that we have. Close to home, kids are making a big impact all across our community in a variety of different capacities, including some students over at West Bloomfield High School who have built new partnerships with their peers across our local area to support animals in our community in some really tough situations. They call their group The Positive Effect, and joining us now are Rhea Bagri and Gabe Hiraday from that group at West Bloomfield High School on the Splash Live. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you both on today. I want to start with you, Rhea, as already you've raised over $2,000 to help animals in need with other nonprofits in the local community, but The Positive Effect is a nonprofit that you and others created to help animals in our local area. What's sort of the aim of this student-driven nonprofit?
Well, The Positive Effect is a certified nonprofit
created to give animals a second chance. I'd come up with the idea when I was visiting the Humane Society this summer. I'd seen how various animals were affected by their past homes. And although they were at the Humane Society, they still didn't have access to many treats, blankets, and other luxuries. Both Gabe and I decided to dig deeper on this topic and realized how common it was. Finally, in October, we got to create a board with 9 other students from Novi and West Bloomfield High School. And we even got certified as an official 501(c)(3) organization, which is a charity organization.
That's a really impressive feat to have students not only from here in Greater West Bloomfield, but from neighboring areas, all partnering for this common passion of theirs to help animals in need throughout our local area. And you mentioned having those partnerships be built with groups from neighboring communities of similar passions. Gabe, I want to go to you as we talk about this partnership with other communities. How do all your passions for animals, your love for animals, sort of come together to figure out ways that you can, as students, help animals in our local area?
Yeah, so I've always had a deep love for animals, and I have 2 dogs myself. And I always believed that they deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. And seeing the number of animals in these shelters and the challenges that Humane Societies face due to the lack of resources, it really pushed us to take action. And we wanted to create something that not only raises awareness, but also provides real support that is beneficial. And that's basically what the positive effect is about. It allows us to combine our passion for animals with community engagement and create a movement where people can come together and really make that difference.
So you talk about advocacy and filling in the gaps that maybe people don't know about supporting animals in their life or in their community. What are some of the things that you hope that the positive effect can teach not only students at West Bloomfield High School here in our community, but students, adults, and others throughout the greater community?
I mean, the positive effect is really put together to fight for animal cruelty. There's a lot of issues out there with animals facing harmful treatment from their owners and stuff like that. And we really want to get that message out. We post a lot of articles on our Instagram page, like talking about animal cruelty as a whole and how people can come together and prevent that in their communities.
Gabe here today is with us, one of the co-founders of The Positive Effect. Another one of the co-founders is Rhea Bagri, who also joins us today on the Splash Live. Rhea, I want to go back to you because a large part of what your organization does, as you mentioned earlier on, is putting together resources that help these animals in various shelters or foster homes that they are in. So what are some of the critical items that you're looking for, and how do you find where those items go to help animals as best as possible in our area?
Yeah, of course. So far, our nonprofit has actually made homemade bandanas for dogs, which we not only sold, but we're also going to be giving some out to the Humane Society. And we've been making homemade dog treats, which we sell. And all the proceeds, of course, go to the Humane Society. And honestly, for our donations, we're looking for not only towels, but they can be used or new, and blankets and treats.
And more of these can be found through helping out The Positive Effect at West Bloomfield High School. Students and others in the community can get involved. I want to go back to you, Rhea, on that because you and Gabe are co-founders of this organization. Other students from other districts are also involved. But we know kids love animals in the greater West Bloomfield area. And so if they want to help out, what are some ways that they can get involved?
Yeah, definitely. Volunteering at your local Humane Society could be your best bet. And also, we will be having a dog drive where you can donate any animal supplies if you have any treats, food, anything, clothes as well, that the dogs could use. So you can just drop them off at the high school security and we'll make sure that they get to the dogs.
Gabe, back to you on this. What's been the most rewarding moment for you so far in helping to lead this organization, to grow this organization, not just as a club at West Bloomfield High School, but also as a nonprofit that helps support animals throughout the Metro Detroit area?
Yeah, so one of our most rewarding experiences was our yoga fundraiser at Thrive Hot Yoga in Farmington Hills. We raised roughly around $1,500, and all the money is going towards supporting animals in need. We've also built a partnership with Michigan Humane Society where we're planning to donate essential supplies for animals. But beyond the numbers, we've seen an increase in community involvement, which is really important to us. And we have more people joining our team and trying to make a difference, which is exactly what we've hoped for.
And you mentioned the yoga fundraiser being one of the ways that you were able to bring in quite a lot of money for the positive effect. Rhea, I want to go back to you on this because these are some creative ways to put forth your fundraising. It's not the typical way you'd see from a high school group where it'd be a bake sale or it would be maybe doing a raffle at a sporting event through West Bloomfield High School or something along those lines. You're really trying to be out there and be unique in how your fundraising efforts go. Where did that sort of idea start within your organization to maybe approach the fundraising side a little bit differently?
Yeah, of course. We had been we were trying to explore different ways and unique ways to get the community involved. And my mom actually teaches at the yoga studio. And in the past, I remember that they had done multiple yoga fundraisers for dogs and other causes that were so important. And I saw how the community came together and donated anything to help. So I talked to her and I talked to the owner, and they were able to support our organization and make a yoga class, and all the proceeds went to the Humane Society, and even people brought in dog food, pee pads, and a bunch of other things, which we will be going to the Humane Society this week or next week and giving out.
Rhea, I want to go back to you again on this. There's a lot more coming up going forward with the positive effect. What are some things that are coming down the pike that maybe people can be excited for or maybe even have as an opportunity to join your organization in the coming weeks and months?
Yeah, definitely. Our Remind is open to anybody who would like to join, which is in our bio and our Instagram. And for the future, some events that we are planning across WP is obviously our dog donation drive, which will be through both West Bloomfield High School and Novi High School. Whatever donations that you want to donate towards the Humane Society, you can drop off at the high school security. We will have a box there eventually, probably next month. And we're even trying to have a formal therapy dog program at West Bloomfield High School. So we're trying to establish that. And as for our group next meeting, we're going to be making knot blankets and selling them so we can get some money for the Humane Society.
All great efforts going forward with the Positive Effect, a nonprofit organization co-founded out of West Bloomfield High School by Rhea Bagri and Gabe Hiraday, who are both with us on today's edition of the Splash Live. Gabe, before we let the both of you go, what do you hope comes from this organization in the future? We talked with Rhea about some upcoming fundraising opportunities, some of the things you've already been able to do, but what do you hope is the next step for the Positive Effect?
So we are both now juniors in high school, and we will probably be, transferring the president spot to kids who are younger than us, upcoming freshmen as of right now, and we hope to carry on that the nonprofit while we are both in college. But one of our goals is to raise enough money to go to a third world country and feed the stray dogs that are there who are facing animal cruelty.
All great ideas, all really helpful ways to support animals here in Greater West Bloomfield and far beyond and have a positive effect. Rhea Bagri, Gabe Hiraday, thank you both for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Always glad to hear from our remarkable students over at West Bloomfield High School and those all throughout the Greater West Bloomfield area, making a big impact all across Oakland County in partnership with their equally as remarkable peers. That is going to do it for today's edition of the program. As always, you can stay tuned with us on CivicCenterTV.com and on social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, as well as YouTube, X, and Instagram at Civic Center TV. Big thank you to our entire team out in the field, Kevin McIntyre and Jake Schaff, and back at Master Control it is Calvin Brown. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Keefe, live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.